Hey, how's it going, everyone? Chris here, Thrift Shop Hustler. Today we are going to create a very basic font shirt for merch by Amazon using Photoshop. I know that there is lots of other apps that you can use to create basic designs. This tutorial is just going to be exclusively for Photoshop. I know that a pretty good amount of you could have access to Photoshop, and some of you that don't, you can pick up some earlier versions of Photoshop for a relatively good price. I'm going to put a link down below for what I use. I use CS2, and you can get it for a reasonable price. I'll put an affiliate link down below, and just search around. You can. I think I found this one on Amazon. I don't remember where I got it, but I was able to get this one real cheap. I think it was like $20. And so the link is below. You can also look for it on eBay. And so let me just start off by saying I'm Chris, Thrift Shop Hustler. Just got into merch a few months ago, and been doing some videos. You can check out some of those videos when you're finished with this and see, because I just kind of started, and so it's kind of like a beginner's journey. Some of my vlogging and videos on that, so check that out. But anyways, let's get into this tutorial. We are going to create from start to finish. We're actually going to go and upload this when we're done. We are going to create a very basic font. I'm going to show you how to do it, and we're going to upload it and show you all that kind of process. So once again, I'm Chris, Thrift Shop Hustler. Just started doing merch, getting into it very heavily. Learning all the stuff that I need to do as far as advertising and promoting my designs once they're finished. I've been getting little steady sales, nothing too crazy, but it's any one sale is good for me. I didn't notice any sales for a couple weeks, and then they started to come in. So, anyways, this is Photoshop CS2, and what we're gonna do here, and once I said you can click the link below, and that'll take you to Amazon, and you can get the specs on that stuff, and then you can actually also look somewhere else to purchase it. So CS2 is an earlier version. A lot of the newer versions are going to cost you a ton of money. I know that you can actually do a monthly subscription now for Photoshop, which is nice. I don't know the price on that because I bought this earlier software. But anyways, all the kind of things that you're going to see right now are pretty much basic things that are going to be across the board for Photoshop. Some of the earlier versions might not have some of the really cool artsy features, but for basic font stuff, it's all going to be the same across the board. So what we're going to do today is, I guess we're going to do, which one do I have down here? So we're going to do World's Greatest Dad. I was looking for kind of inspirational shirts on Google. And we're not going to copy this design at all, but we're going to pretty much, for this example, we're going to do a very basic World's Greatest Dad shirt. This design happens to be something that's a little bit more advanced, and that's because it has expanding words and stuff. And we can probably actually do that portion of that in this tutorial, or maybe not. We'll just keep it very simple. We'll do another tutorial on how to make the black border around the words in a future video. If you want to see that, actually leave a comment below. I'd be happy to show you guys how to do that. That's actually a good thing to know about in Photoshop. So first off, we're going to want to have the template out. So this template is out, and we'll go to the image and image size. And to make this template, if you don't have it, and this is the wrong one. This is the one. So also, when you're in Photoshop, you can highlight the different boxes. I had this other box highlighted, that's why it didn't come out correctly. And so you go to image size once your box is highlighted, and this is going to be the spec for the photo, the template. And this is going to be a PNG file, and it's going to be 4,500 pixels by 5,400 pixels, which the equivalent is 15 by 18 with 300 resolution. So if you go up here and you click new, you can actually create this from scratch. So write this down if you have notes. If you're saying like, oh, where do I get the template? You can actually create one from scratch using this information. And you can just do the 15 by 18 with 300 DPI. You want to have the resolution. If you hear the word DPI, it's like I want to say it's like dot per inch, which I'm probably butchering, but it's basically the resolution. And right here it's 300. And so this is going to be what you want to do. So what we have is we have an actual blank slate here with a transparent background. For most people, when you're going to get one of these, it's going to have this white background. You can just go up here and go to your magic eraser tool and click that, and it'll actually make a transparent background. I'm sure there's another way to do it, but that's the way I do it. And transparent background is going to be very key, so that you just see the font in the words, and I'll explain that when we upload it and everything. And so basically you want a transparent background. I do highly suggest going down here and making a new layer. So layer 2 and layer 1. Layers are basically the layers of images that we can put. And I always have a background layer that has black. So we're going to go over here, switch to black, and we're going to go to the bucket tool and lay down black. And basically this is going to be so I can see the font. And it's usually white. I usually do white fonts because the white words translate over many different colors. So that's what we're going to do. So now that we have our second layer that's on the bottom, and another thing too, you can click this little eyeball thing and that'll actually turn it off and turn it on. But for now, we're just going to do that. Now, if you take to the ruler, now let's say your image doesn't have this ruler here, you're going to go up to view and you go to show, or right here, rulers. Because sometimes you'll open up a thing and it won't have it on there. So you go to view and you go click rulers and it'll show you the rule. And what I do is, since, did I say this was 14? Let's look again real quick. 15. So that's 7.5 would be the middle. So what I'll do is you go over here till you see your cursor, you drag this little imaginary dot and it should snap. And what this does is the snapping effect is the middle. So this is going to be the middle of your image here. Let's make this a little higher. Let's actually do actual pixels. Okay, we'll go fit to screen. So fit to screen is gonna, when you go up to the little magnifying glass, you click fit to screen, it's gonna show the whole thing. Now I guess you could come down from the top here and make a center line too. And this basically just helps you line up everything in your font. So there's plenty of places you can get fonts online for free, and I won't bore you with those details, but defont.com is a good place to get it. And your computer should come stock with stock fonts. Now make sure that when you get a font from online that you have the licensing for that, so you don't get into any trouble, or there's places that you can get permission for that. So we're going to do World's Greatest Dad. And what we're going to do here is, so we're going to click this. Now we got our two layers. We got our transparent top layer. And imagine like these layers as like a cake. And the icing right now would be on the top. So if you want to position these things, you can just drag them up and down. But for now, we want to highlight this top layer, because this transparent layer is where we want our font. You don't want to put your font on this bottom layer, because then it'll be all the same thing and then it'll be hard to modify later. So we're going to do this top layer. We're going to go here to this T, which is the font. And actually, if you hold down the font, you can actually make vertical and horizontal type. So if you've ever seen people that they have horizontal typing that goes up and down, and you're like, how do they do that? You just hold this down and you go to vertical. But right now we have it on horizontal, which means left to right. We're going to click in there. This little cursor is going to come on. And up here is this little toolbox thing. We're going to actually highlight that, because this is going to show us our font right here. Right now we're using Franklin Gothic and at 100 points. These are another whole thing in itself. We'll get into that. I think the stock thing comes with to 72 point, which is the size. So we're going to use that. And so what we're going to do is we're going to center it. And we're going to start. I'm going to do this one in all caps. So we're going to go worlds space greatest dad. Okay. And as you see, it's all, if you move it, it's going to be all to the left. You come up here where your paragraph thing is, and you're going to center the tool. Oops. We're going to go Control A. We're going to highlight everything and then center it. Just like so. Now also, if you're like, oh, I don't like this font, well, highlight it like we did. You can actually drag it and highlight it, or you can do select all. And what we're going to do is you come over to here and you highlight this, and you can actually see all your different fonts that you have. And if you download fonts, you have to put them in your font folder, or at least I do. And so what we'll do is we'll go start at the top and we'll kind of look for something that's cool. I usually just start at the top. And this is actually, we should actually do it this one. This is actually 8-Bit Wonder. This is actually kind of like a video game font. But I want to show you, if you highlight the font like that and then you press down. Whoops, I messed up. What you have to do first is you have to highlight everything. Control A. Click that. And now if you scroll down using your button on your keypad, you can actually shuffle through all the different fonts till you find something that works for you. And as you can see, some of these, this isn't bold. If you want to bolden it up, you go down to here, this little bold tool, and you click that. It actually will bolden it up. We're not going to do that, but that I just want to show you. And also, if you want to do it like italic, you can do that. So as you can see, this is pretty small, and we're actually gonna let's actually find. We're gonna go back to 8-bit. Just for this tutorial. We can actually just do that. Okay, as you can see, it's kind of small compared to like your shirt. It's gonna look small. So what we kind of want to do is we kind of want to fill up as much space as we can, so that the shirt words are, you can see them. So what we'll do is we'll highlight this all. It's at 100 right now, so let's go to 120, see how big that is. Center that to make sure that that's good. Okay. As you can see, the words are touching, so we're going to go down to the spacing tool. You see how it has 100 points spacing? When you start to get higher in the size, the spacing is going to start to encroach on each other. Now you could do, your own separate thing, like worlds, and then you save it, and then you click again, greatest, like that, and you have separate. You see how on your side here the layers are starting to build up, because this world's greatest data is all one thing, but this worlds is separate. You can move it around and then click this thing and go up here and click. You can do it that way, but for the ease of the tutorial, we are just going to use what we have. Let's delete these. Now, by any means, I'm not no Photoshop expert, so if you seem like this tutorial seems a little weird, that's because I'm not good at teaching. So bear with me, I appreciate it. This is the first time I made a video like this, actually. So anyways, you can see the words are touching. We're going to want to highlight that and go over here to the spacing tool. You see how it says 120? That's the size of our font. What we're going to go over here is we're going to go to 120 and see how the spacing is with that. And press enter. Okay, so like let's say you want more spacing. So you're going to highlight it and we're going to go 140 and see what that looks like. As you can see, that's a little better. But for this tutorial, we'll just do this like this. So we got world's greatest dad, and as you can see, that's why we made this bottom black layer, so that we can see the font, because without that, if we just have that layer, it's going to be hard to kind of look at that. So what's great about having this world's greatest dad font all in the same thing is we can all move it all together. Now you could do separate layers and then go up here and go to uh, merge visible, but that's a little advanced, and we're not going to get into that right now. So just try to keep it simple, keep it all on one thing. If you need to space out just two things, you can highlight just two things and then mess with this stuff. So this dad, I kind of want to make the dad bigger. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight it, and what you do is by highlighting means that you're just selecting that particular item, and we're going to actually go 300 on that. Now as you can see, this got way crazy, so we're going to Control Z that, and what I'm going to do is, since that was a little too crazy, we're going to delete that part, and we're going to go okay. And if you go up here, this will be a little movement tool. We're going to go right here. See, since that one was too big and it was encroaching on that, we're going to actually make another layer so that we can put dad in there. And all you do is you click the thing and you click back in here, and it'll automatically create another layer. So we're going to put dad. We're going to center that. So now that's its own separate thing. So actually we're going to get into that layering tutorial too. We're going to go back to 300. And the reason why we did that is so that we can move this dad independently from everything else. So there we go. We got world's greatest dad. And to me, as you can see, the center line is not really helping. You can see the space between here and here. There's more greater space here. So what you do is you can go Control T, and you can actually use your buttons on your keypad to move this up and down. And also you can actually shrink it and do all this kind of fun stuff too. Control Z will bring it back to where we're at. So we're going to accept that. So also, let's do that again. If you go Control T, it'll bring this modification. If you hold down Shift, you cannot, it'll keep it same size. It's same ratio. If you let go of Shift, you can do all, it's like a freehand thing. You can do it freehand. So always hold Shift if you want to keep your fonts the same proportions. And so we're kind of going to eyeball this by centering it, because the center line, obviously, with this font is not centering correctly. So we'll get this centered here. You know what? Let's go flip mode squad on this. Let's just go world's greatest, and we're going to change the size here for a second. Let's go world's greatest gamer. The funny part about making shirts is you're going to come up with ideas on the fly. And guess what, folks? We just came up with an idea on the fly. I want to find the right size. There we go. So this could be a fun shirt for a kid or something like that. We're going to go Control T. We're going to line this up with our eyes. Now, I'm sure there's another way to like line everything up perfectly with using Photoshop, but I like to eyeball everything, because that's basically what we're going to do. So now what we're going to do is, like, okay, we have world's greatest gamer. I can't put the little italic mark on here, as you can see. I wanted to do that, but some fonts won't have special characters. This one doesn't happen to have a special character, so I can't put that in there. My wife would totally be like, the grammar's wrong. It doesn't have the punctuation, but we're just going to do this anyways. So world's greatest gamer. What we're going to do is you're going to come back over here, unclick the eyeball, and we're going to merge these two things together. So it's very important to unclick the stuff that you don't want to merge, because if you merge visible, all this whole thing will become one black. And so like when you upload this photo to Amazon, it's going to be literally a huge black square with words on it, and it's not going to look good. So what we want to do is we want to keep it transparent by unclicking that, and we're going to go to layer, and we're going to go to merge visible. Now what that does is it merges both those layers together, as you can see. And now what we're going to do is we're going to save this file as Let's make a new folder first. You go down here, move folder. We'll go YouTube. And so in my photo thing, we'll have YouTube. So down here, it's not going to be Photoshop. You need to save it as a PNG, which will retain that transparency. If you save it as a JPEG, it's that transparency layer, it will disappear. TIFFs, Photoshop, and PNG will let you do layers, transparent layers. But I always save it as a PNG because that's what Amazon accepts. So we're just going to say, let's just put, like, make this easy. We'll put gamer. And we're going to click OK. None. So now that we've done that, we've created our shirt. We've basically went from creating the font, putting everything down in there, messing with the sizes. We like what it looks like. You know, this is what it's going to look like. We saved it with a transparent layer. So when you're saving it, you're going to also, you know, you definitely want to unclick the eyeball, because if you click the eyeball on and you save it, it's going to save that layer. So now we're going to go to Amazon, and of course my Photoshop and stuff is acting funky, so we're going to have to do it this way. There we go. My computer gets funky sometimes. So here we are on our dashboard, which is merch.amazon.com/dashboard. We're going to go here. We're going to go upload finished artwork. I'm going to have to sign in. And so here's our uploading screen. We're going to click upload. We're going to go to pictures, Amazon merch, YouTube, and click gamer. Open it up. It's going to open it. This shouldn't take too long because we flattened our layers. The size of the file is going to be smaller. So that's always what you want to do. Also, you want to save, before you flatten everything, you're going to want to save the Photoshop file so that it doesn't, you can go back and change and modify anything. So that's what it's going to look like if we have any back things, which we don't. So we're going to save and continue. I always click youth because you never know. We're going to do relax fit. I wouldn't do American Apparel in the next couple days because they're going to be swapping that out pretty soon. So as you can see, you can actually highlight over and see the different, what it looks like. And you can actually, like, let's say you had red like this, you can actually make that black layer red so that you can see what it looks like. But since we did a black layer, we're going to do black, navy. We're not going to do gray because you can't really see it. We'll do, I like burgundy. I like this, which green? I think this Kelly green works. And we're going to do all 5. And let's do asphalt. We want to do darker colors. And you can see, you can click to see what it looks like. And this is what it looks like. So what we're going to do is for price, this is a simple shirt. We'll just do $15.99. There's nothing great about this. And we'll go save. Success. Brand name, I'll just put gamer. Now you can put anything you want for the brand name. If you have a brand that you want to stick with, I would suggest doing that. And we'll just put gamer just for an example. And then the title of the product is, we'll say, you want to kind of put what it is, world's greatest gamer. Now I'm not really good at filling all these little key product and product description stuff in, because I've noticed for myself, when I start to fill all that stuff in, all my designs get rejected. So what I do is I just keep it very simple. I won't even fill in the product description or the key product features, which I'm sure I'm not doing it right by doing that, but this is what works for me. And this is literally what works for me. So I'm just going to put world's greatest gamer. We're going to put world's greatest gamer shirt. We'll put for any gaming fan. We'll just put like something like that. This is what I do. I know there's a lot of people that do it differently. This is what I do, and for this tutorial, we're just going to keep it very simple because I want this design to go through with like no problem. And also, when you do a font design, you're going to also want to make sure that there's no copyright issues with wording. So like you can't use Pepsi or Nike, or you can't use any of those words. So that's another tip, is you should pretty much look that up. World's Greatest Gamer, I'm pretty sure that's not going to be an issue, and we're just going to go from there. So like I said, if you know how to fill these things out properly without your thing getting rejected, for me, for some reason, it always gets rejected, so I don't even do that anymore. We're going to save and continue. And so here we got the royalty, we got the different colors. They fill out some of this information right here for you. And World's Greatest Gamer shirt for any gaming fan. That's actually a pretty good thing to use so far. This is going to be so what happens is you have 3 options over here. You got draft, which is if you want to save it and like kind of work on it later. Sample is like, let's say you have like a Girl Scout or like just kind of like a sports team, and you just want to sell it directly to someone without having to put it on Amazon for the public to see. Let's say you have a design that you only want to sell to a certain amount of certain people that are exposed to that link. That's what you're going to do, is sample. But we're going to sell this to the public. We're going to submit product. It's going to say, by submitting, you confirm you own all necessary rights to this product's original work, brand name, product title, and product description. Submitting products that violate our content policy will result in cancellation of your listing and suspension or termination of your Merch by Amazon account. So that's why I'm saying you should make sure that your wording is good and all your fonts you can use them. And so here we go. Our submission is submitted, and they're going to pretty much review that. So we'll see how that works. And so that's pretty much it in a nutshell. So we just pretty much created a very basic design, and using fonts. And if you wanted to know more about Photoshop, there's definitely a million YouTube videos. I kind of just showed you something real quick, and maybe you learned something. If you have any questions below, let me know, and we'll see. We'll see later today if this gets accepted through Amazon, and we'll start selling this shirt. And I'll put a link down below if you want to buy this shirt. If you're watching this in the future, and you're like, "Oh, that's a cool shirt. I actually like that shirt." That'll help me out, helps the channel out. I can get some new equipment, maybe a new face. And so yeah, so I hope this helped you out a lot. I'm not the world's greatest teacher. I apologize. It's the first time I've ever done this. So if you like this video, please click the like button. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe and leave a comment below if you have any questions. I'll try to answer as best I can. I'm not a Photoshop expert by any means, obviously. So you guys have a good one.